Hello everyone, and welcome to Nebula Realms, but you're probably thinking, what's with the title and the weird description? Well, as you no doubt have heard, there was a large massacre that happened overnight last night in Las Vegas, Nevada. And originally I was going to pay my respects through GTA Online, but seeing as how that'd be rather unfitting, seeing as how in that game, you're incented to. You get what I'm saying. So after a while, I eventually thought maybe Nebula Realms would be better because it's a more peaceful environment, and you really don't have to worry about shooting anyone at all because there's no violence or anything, even though this is a rated M game. But I want to say that I'm very sorry to all of those who were affected by last night's shooting. And no, I am not responsible. I'm just showing my respect, paying my respect, and showing my deepest condolences for what had happened. And I would just like to have a brief moment of silence to honor those who were killed, which as of now it is currently 59, and at least 500 people were hospitalized. Let that sink in. But first, moment of silence. And that ends the moment of silence. Yeah, after hearing about that shooting, I just couldn't help but feel deeply saddened by what had happened. I know that. Uh, Now, I don't know if I have really any friends in Nevada. I think I do on Facebook, but if you're out there, if you're a friend of mine on Facebook or anyone, maybe even a fan of my channel who lives in Nevada, I just want to say I'm sorry about what had happened. Again, I'm not claiming responsibility. I'm not that kind of natured person. I would never even dream of doing anything of that sort. Rather, I'm saying sorry because I feel terrible for what has happened, and I just felt that showing my condolences and paying my deepest respects to those who were affected would be the most appropriate thing ever. And I'm not wrong. Many people around the US, hell, even around the world, have been praying for these people. And tonight I will be too before I go to bed. But I would also like to say, for those who were harsh on Donald Trump for his speech, just understand that he's doing what he can. He can't do everything at once. And not only that, but this is also a message to Hillary Clinton and her stance on it. The NRA isn't responsible. If the guy had a background check and he checked out just fine and he had a gun license and he could own firearms, then that was the thing that was ultimately what led to this, is because the guy was checked and nobody found anything wrong. Hell, the guy's family members, which by the guy I'm talking about the shooter, whose name is officially known as Stephen Paddock, I believe. Am I really gonna be stuck on this server thing forever? Hopefully not. But Stephen Paddock, a 64-year-old adult male from Mesquite, Texas, who had gone over to Mesquite, Nevada, And no, I'm not finding that suspicious at all. Had stayed in a hotel in, I believe it is known as Mandalay Bay or something. I'm very sorry if I mispronounced that name, but he'd stayed there since September 28th, I believe, is what multiple news sources have said, or news sources have said. In fact, the employees of the hotel where he stayed at actually said that he checked in and stayed there since the 20th of September. But on occasion that the employees would check on him, he would just hide whatever he was planning and they would notice nothing wrong. But then it happened. Last night there was a large-scale massacre directed at a country music concert, or a country music festival, I believe is what it actually was. But because of this, initially 50 people died, or at least 50 people died. It was later estimated to be 58 people, and then someone succumbed to their injuries, making it 59. So 515 people were also injured. And all I can say is I also have my deepest condolences going out to this guy's family. Why to this family? Well, they were unaware of this guy's thoughts. Like, they didn't know this was gonna happen. They didn't think this was gonna happen at all. So, for those pointing fingers at Mr. Paddock's family, it's not their fault. They didn't even know. However, there is one person who is to be pointed a finger at. And no, it isn't anything political. It is actually Stephen Paddock's father. He was believed to be a major-time criminal, or a big-time criminal back in the day. And that most likely is what led this man, Stephen Paddock, to his wrongdoing. Also, sorry if there's no gameplay right now, it's still searching for a server. But, yeah, here I am paying my respects to what had happened last night. And, again, to those thinking, oh, well, why aren't you playing GTA? Well, GTA is a very violent game, and no, I'm not going to point fingers at that, saying, this is what led that guy to do this and this, because no, that's not the reason why. This guy was just simply wrong in the head. He was a psycho. In fact, according to Nevada state laws, this guy was literally a terrorist due to the fact that he inflicted violent actions upon hundreds of civilians. And I do mean that literally. At least 500 people were injured. And amongst the rest of the people, 59 people had died. Yes, Crimson, I did. This morning I got onto my laptop and I was looking on Facebook and I saw that and I'm like, oh god. And I thought about it a while, and as I went out to the stores I usually go to, I thought maybe I could do a stream and show my deepest condolences and pay my respects then. And at first I was thinking of Grand Theft Auto Online, so I posted about that on Facebook at one point. And the thing is, a friend of mine pointed out that it wouldn't really be appropriate of me to do that by saying that I'm paying my respects to a shooting by playing a game that, you know, incentivizes that stuff. So then I thought it over and I thought, you know, that wouldn't really be appropriate to do. How about I play something peaceful because it's more serene and there's no violence in this game as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, Crimson, I do see what you mean. This is bad. There's just no end to this chaos. You're exactly right. And to make matters worse about all this, the shooter was a coward. At the end of this rampage, he committed suicide. He wasn't handed over to the police. He just shot himself dead. Or at least that's what I think. But just this alone, I thought maybe I could do a stream showing my condolences and paying my respects to those who were affected. Like, for example, the family who had to deal with this, the family who was interviewed, mainly the brother of the shooter, who had no idea what was going to happen. I wish to offer my respect, and it not only happened in Vegas, it happened in my hometown. Your hometown? Wait, what was your hometown? I don't think you ever mentioned that to me. Again, I would like to apologize for the lack of gameplay. It's still searching for a server. Oh, Lafayette. Lafayette. Yeah, that's happened too. But, according to news interviews with the shooter's brother, the brother had no idea that this was going to happen, and according to them, after hearing about this, it just felt like an asteroid had hit the family because it was just so shocking. It was just devastating to them because they didn't think this was gonna happen. They didn't know that the brother, no, not the brother, but Stephen Paddock would do this. They didn't think anything was wrong with him, but this is indeed an attack on American people, and this is in fact an action of domestic terrorism of the worst kind. Many people were hurt, and although fewer, many were killed. 59, as I said earlier. 515 people were injured, some gravely, some lightly, but it doesn't matter. This is now officially the most deadliest shooting in US history to date. Yes, this even beats the Pulse shooting from last year in Orlando, Florida. As much as I would be pained to mention that shooting. Yes, once gameplay is actually up, then... Actually, you know what? I think what I'll do is I'll close down the game and then I'll resume the broadcast. And hopefully that'll work, because this has also happened on Doom. What had happened was one time when I was about to stream Doom, even an officer on the force was gunned down in a corner store in Lafayette, Louisiana. This wave of madness needs to stop. Indeed it does. Like, the fact that this has happened, and the fact that I didn't even hear about this until this morning. Of course, I was asleep by then, so I wasn't aware. Like, please note, I live all the way in Texas, but just hearing about this, it disheartens me to hear about this. To hear about such a tragic event that took place right in the US. And the thing is, again, I think I have some friends in Nevada. I think that some might have lived near there, so I hope you guys are safe. Anyways, please stay tuned, guys. I'm going to end this stream, close out this game, and then come back onto it. And then once I get into gameplay, I'll resume the stream. Yes, this will mean the stream will end abruptly, but don't worry, I will get back to streaming, so just hang tight, okay?